All right, we are here, Ohara.
Yes. How's it going?
Going good, man. Congrats on 500K first and foremost.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that, man.
Wouldn't
be here without you.
No problem.
So
that's an amazing milestone, man. I'm so happy for you. That's crazy. Just somebody in the One Piece community. You know, every time somebody gets a 500K in the One Piece community, it's like, it's inspiring for other people in the community, other channels, because it's like, man, that's a goal, you know what I'm saying? So absolutely, just all the congrats and kudos. That's amazing, bro.
I appreciate it, bro. I mean, like, in case your subscribers don't know, but like you and Morge were like two of the first people who actually were like very welcoming when I first started making videos, like made it really easy to get into the community with everyone. So massively appreciate that. Probably wouldn't be here today without you, honestly. So massive thanks to you.
No worries at all, bro. No worries at all. I'm happy. I'm excited for you. Today though, it's some other stuff going on.
Yes, indeed there is.
It's One Piece 1043. All right, and I was talking to somebody, and we kind of came to the conclusion this is probably the most hyped chapter since 957.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right?
Maybe
Ultimate, where the bounties.
Yeah, maybe even more so, almost a little bit.
Yeah, no, you're right. Actually,
yeah.
maybe even more hyped than that. I think it surpasses everything on Roof Piece, which is crazy to say.
Yeah.
Because Roof Piece had just so much stellar moments, but it shows something, right? That even in the midst of all that happened on the rooftop, which was fantastic, we still crave lore. You know,
yeah.
That's where the fan base goes crazy and loses their mind when we can find out more about the story and more about things that's been put in motion from the beginning.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to think. I think what makes it even more special than 957 is because 957 was so awesome because of all the lore that was dropped, kind of.
Yeah.
And this implies so much for, you know, the future of the story, but also everything that has happened until now. You know, like, I mean,
it encapsulates.
I'm excited to hear like what your theory is on what's happening, but you know, like, let's just
same.
Yeah, whatever it is, like let's say Luffy actually does not have the Gomu Gomu no Mi, but like a different devil fruit. Yo, we've literally been trolled for 20 plus years.
For 20 years, we've been thinking he has. It's just rubber, right? Yeah. It's just rubber. It's nothing special. It's a little special. It's a little special.
Which is like a fucking huge deal, actually. So.
That's crazy. Can you imagine? Because even for people that don't read, like, they don't read One Piece, right? And my friend, he just watches the anime. He calls me, and he's like, "Hey, I hear something crazy is going on. What's happening?" My friend told me. I was like, "Wait. What are you talking about?" I was like, "First off, I don't want to know what you know because I don't know anything about spoilers." He's like, "Oh, did I say anything?" I was like, "You didn't say anything, but it's some crazy stuff that's happening in the manga right now. Just don't tell me." And he doesn't even read the manga. He just watches the anime. He already heard about it. So it's just like, I'm just like, okay, all right. You know, this chapter is going to be insane. And it was. But let's start off with the cover story. 1043, we die together. I was just hoping, I just want to see Katakuri again. Is it just me?
No.
Is it just me? I just want to catch a glimpse of Kat.
I hope he's coming to Wano, bro. I mean,
oh God, he's coming to save Big Mom. He has to come and save her.
I mean, we're gonna see him again, definitely in the story. I feel like he's one of those characters that I feel it's pretty guaranteed that he's coming back. But
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like the cover story, to be fair, I skipped this actually. I did not read it for this week, but I mean, it's like now I'm looking at it actually for the first time. Genuinely,
there's nothing really happening. You know, they're just arriving at Whole Cake Island.
It's a great, like, next to NL's cover story, this is arguably one of like the most exciting ones that we've gotten so far because it's like literally
it's so close.
Yeah, and a lot is happening also, like genuinely, like in a Yonko area, and you know, like we just left Whole Cake Island before Wano, so it was pretty.
It's
cool
giving
stuff.
a lot of context to things that we needed. We wanted to hear about.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love it. I hope it goes somewhere. And it somewhat connects with the main storyline. But these are the cover stories that I really love.
Also, I just want to say, I just noticed that like because it says arriving at Whole Cake Island, and like in the back, like that mountain is just completely fucked up.
It's still over, right? still completely fucked up, man. Yeah. It's just gotta love the Straw Hats. All right, the chapter, an overwhelming blow to Luffy. Last chapter we left off, Luffy took a devastating attack because of CP0, which was it was an amazing maneuver, right? What they did by getting in the way, using Tekai, avoiding the attack. I'm like, it's a lot of skill there. And they accomplished their goal by basically making sure that Luffy lost. Yeah. In this instance, in this chapter, it kind of made it seem like Luffy died.
I think let's get to that soon. Like, one thing I wanted to get out is like the dude from CP0. Like, I love he's been like this panel on the first page. It's like his entire atmosphere is like, yo, I'm so fucked. Holy shit.
I'm fucked.
It's like, but it has real vibes, that panel.
He took it like a man, though, right?
Did.
Like,
and then with the hat, like a few pages later, he's just like, yo, I know, man. He's like really like apologetic almost. He's like, I fucked up, I'm so sorry.
Listen, shout out to the CP0 organization. Like, how they tip their cap when somebody dies, apparently. Listen, in the community, people call him Blue Scarf, right? He doesn't have a name.
I haven't heard that before.
He has a mask, right? Blue Scarf. He doesn't have a name. He has a mask that has emotion. It's odd. But this guy, I don't know what exactly my expectation was for him, but he was cool this chapter.
Yeah.
He was pretty cool this chapter. Well, and even last chapter, what he did.
I think the difference was like compared to like someone like Lucci, even though he's CP0 as well, he showed a lot of emotion. I feel like he was very relatable as like a human being. Like still,
especially what he said to Drake, right? Yeah. Where it's like, you have a choice.
Yeah, but also the reaction.
I envy you.
You know, like Lucci would have been like, yeah, kill yourself, sure, but like this dude is like, I kind of really don't.
It's odd. I didn't expect this.
I really don't want to do this kind of. Do I have to?
Yeah. This is above my pay grade, right? Yeah. It's like you're asking me to get in between essentially two Yonko and kill one of them.
No, it's
what
wild.
Are you talking about?
Yeah, it's wild.
And after that, him just standing there, jacket blowing in the wind. After that, the tip of the hat, it's like just chef's kiss, man. It was very well done, but we got to focus on. Well, before that, Momonosuke saying Luffy's voice is gone. Let me ask you: do you think Luffy actually died? His heart stopped?
I think so. Yeah, I would say so. Because I think probably a lot of people.
Because I saw your tweet.
Yeah.
Your tweet said that basically it was supposed to be like the heartbeat or something like that.
Let me see. It's actually relatively towards the end. I don't think, is it the last? It's the page before the last one.
Before the last one? Yeah. Okay, all right. We can talk about it when we get there. But in this one, initially when I first read the chapter, I thought what Kaido was seeing was Luffy's like life leaving him. But it's like, I was like, wait, what? Like, that looks weird, but it's like actually Luffy just flying because the air is leaving him.
Yeah, exactly. The steam.
And how Oda draws Kaido's face, it's so much emotion, right? It's like,
he's devastated.
Oh my God. Like, are you serious? And then he talks to Blue Scarf like, do you know what you've done?
He's just like, I'm sorry, I do.
It's like, that was the whole point, right? It's so I heard two perspectives on this. One was, well, obviously he lost the battle and it's a replay of what happened between him and Odin, so he's devastated. Somebody had a perspective of, do you know what you've done? Basically, you're going to make Joy Boy come about, which I think is more of a stretch, where it's like insinuating that Kaido knows that through death, Joy Boy will come.
I mean, it would fit with like his trying to kill himself thing, kind of.
What is that about?
Yeah.
At this point, it's like, do you know that death, because he did say death completes a person, right? So it's like, do you know that by dying, this will come about? You may claim this Joy Boy title. It's weird.
I would say though, on the other hand, like I personally rather, and like this is more of a gut feeling than, but like I do feel that Kaido might rather. I feel like we're more and more getting like this kind of like, I don't know, misguided good guy kind of thing. I mean, he's done a lot of fucked up things, and like he literally goes back to his like villain vibes pretty fast in this chapter, where he's like, yo, I'm not a soft, but it almost feels like he really was hoping, when he says like, oh, it looks like you couldn't be Joy Boy either. He's like hoping for Joy Boy to come back. He's trying to become Joy Boy himself.
Yeah.
Kaido, just like Big Mom, like I feel like he's also someone who genuinely wanted like a better world, and like just kind of like lost his way somewhere. I think someone mentioned that like he was like laughing a lot back in the days when he was still young, and then he kind of lost that over time.
Very jovial back then. Yeah. He lost his way. Kaido's lost in so many ways because imagine trying to be Joy Boy, and at some point you came to the conclusion that you're not Joy Boy.
Yeah.
But then you're like, okay, then who is Joy Boy? So, for instance, back in the day when he was going to Marineford, what if he thought that Ace was Joy Boy? He found out that basically Ace is Roger's son. He's like, wait, that gotta be, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, Ace is dead. Okay. I guess he wasn't Joy Boy.
You think that's
it kind of?
You think that's why Kaido wanted to go to? No, but that doesn't. No,
I think he was after Whitebeard. I think he was like after the war. But now, so many things are swirling in my head about what Shanks probably told him.
Right, you were like, no way, like Joy Boy's still coming, kind of.
Right? Or he's like, Joy Boy will be there soon. Something like that to put his mind at ease. The popular theory is still
I would be surprised if they actually fought.
Liquor.
Honestly. I'd love it, but I'm kind of like, I don't know.
No way.
Seems like
no way.
It's probably more like a talk, because like both of them know a lot, I feel. So
well, I think Shanks definitely like pulled his sword out to say, hey,
it's like the Yonko breeding kind of thing.
You're right. I can fight if I want to, but this is not the time for that, to the point that, Kaido put Shanks in his top 5, saying these are the only people capable of fighting me. So it was serious enough, I think.
It's true.
Where he's like, oh, okay. But I don't think it's to the point that it was a full on onslaught between each other. I don't think it was that at all. I think the interesting tidbit is that King was with him that we found out. It's just like, that does help things, but it's like, if Shanks is with his whole crew, you're not gonna beat Shanks and his whole crew with just King.
It's really funny, like recently, like not to go too far from the chapter, but I read a really funny and interesting theory the other day of someone saying like, yo, what if Buggy has just been bullshitting us the entire time, and he's actually like pretty decently strong, and like Shanks knows that.
Oh no.
I'd be down for that, honestly.
I think I see that every other year where people are like, yo, what if Buggy was just trolling? What if Buggy's actually strong as heck? I'm like, there's so many instances where Buggy being strong would have helped him, and it's like nothing, So I think Buggy's perfect in the story where he is. It's like perception versus reality, right? And it's like, so it's such a theme of One Piece where people have this they perceive you in one way, but the reality is completely different. And that's how, even with news and with Kaido and Big Mom, people in their minds, even Luffy at this point, people in their minds have like what they think they should look like, what they think they should be. Because remember when Luffy showed back up, it was like, yo, he's this tall and he's this menacing, and it's like, it's this kid's like, yo, I'm Luffy. He's like, no, the fuck you're not. Like, that's not what Straw Hat Luffy is, So Buggy, I think, is the perfect character to have that. The fact that he became a warlord off of this reputation, so that's, you gotta love it. I guess at this point with CP0, after they're tipping their cap, we see Kawamatsu again. Haven't seen him in a while.
True.
I was wondering if he just left altogether. We get to Kaido just venting. Okay. At this point, I felt like Kaido was so frustrated. He came to everyone and was like, yo, like, where's your leader? Bring that brat right now.
I'm done with
this. I'll fight any of you. Because remember, he didn't take Luffy with him.
No, yeah.
He didn't, because last time didn't he say I should have taken your head to show them.
Yeah.
because unless they see you dead,
no, he
they won't
seems
lose faith.
genuinely disappointed that this fight is over. Yeah.
Yes. So he's just coming and he's just like mad, venting his frustration. And then we see Kid and Law, man. They're like, I don't have anything left.
Law's like, I might have like 6 last attacks left, but that's it.
Right. Okay, I said I had nothing left, but maybe I have 3 more croons in me.
3 more last.
Kid is like, wait, what? I was really done, man. What I loved about this entire scene though is like the feeling of despair.
Yes.
That Luffy is gone, and selfishly I would have loved if it lingered a bit more, right? Maybe into another chapter, just to, because this tension, how thick it was.
Yeah, it's great.
I haven't felt that in a while. You know,
I think
I love it.
Yeah, I love Nami here, like her standing up, who's usually like the coward, standing up to Kaido,
right?
And
it's crazy.
Yamato also. I mean, like, I've always loved her from the first chapter, but like here also, this chapter is fantastic.
Her best moment, this chapter.
So good.
This chapter, bar none. We see Chopper, of course, crying.
Yeah.
That's what Chopper does. But Nami standing up to Kaido, that was great. Where she's like, no, I don't believe you. In the face of a Yonko, Kaido's like, okay, shit, don't believe me then. Blast breath.
Marco's always there, I feel like, to like
oh God.
make sure.
Oh, Marco.
He's just taking care.
have such like mixed feelings with Marco, man.
Really?
How do you feel about
I
Marco?
love him. Oh, I love Marco. Absolutely.
Okay, so I love the character. I just think he's been heavily underutilized in Wano.
Really? No, I think
like Oda has.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, what's your perspective on him?
No, I mean, I kind of get, I guess, what you're saying, but I personally like his role a lot, where it's kind of like he's supporting everyone and making sure like nobody dies once they've had their fight.
Dies.
Kind of. Yeah. So he's kind of like he's kind of like healing the like kind of like this like wide area effect healer kind of character that like steps in between.
So he's just like, he knows he's a support in his arc.
I don't know, man. I'm just like so in love with his personality and his devil fruit with both. It's like by far my favorite devil fruit. Marco's. I think
in regards to characters, this is the character that's probably closest to my personality. I think.
He's just
maybe
cool.
Marco.
He's just a cool dude. He's like just kind and chill, but cool when he has
laid
to.
Back,
has the power to back it up.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
I think as a character, I love him. I just feel like he could be doing much more, but I understand Oda cannot utilize him to outshine the Straw Hats.
I think honestly, I actually feel like I was surprised by how much Marco actually got to do.
Oh, you thought he would do less?
I thought he would do even less. I was very happy that we got a lot of Marco moments in between with like him and Zoro and him and Sanji and him and Chopper. In general, like he's been like interacting now with Nami. He's been interacting with almost all the Straw Hats, honestly. So,
this is true.
Yeah,
this is true. That's definitely a different perspective. I think when you have a powerhouse like that, it's very dangerous. You got to be a bit more cautious because you're like, I gotta kind of tiptoe around it because I don't want this character to overshadow the other characters.
No, right.
Marco even said like this, I'm just setting the stage. Like the next era, that's what I'm here for. So also, I understand that.
Also, I do think that, I mean, I feel like he's still incredibly strong. Like the fact that he can like fight against King and Queen at the same time and now like tank Kaido's attack again is already impressive. I kind of almost expected that like the war against Blackbeard kind of broke many of the Whitebeard pirates. So I was actually more surprised that like Marco was still pretty much up to the task and like, you know, facing off with like the other commanders and like Yonkos pretty casually.
No. Yeah, he's gone through a lot. Think about just the leading up to it. He lost Whitebeard, Ace, Thatch, Blackbeard. You know,
he's one of the characters that aged like 4 times as long as the time skip actually was. I feel like Sengoku.
Man, you know, it's just loss after loss after loss for him. You know, to be even in good spirits in Wano, it is a testament to his personality. You know. So you're right with Marco on that front.
But I get where,
I like him as a character.
I haven't heard I
like him
thought
as a character.
About it, honestly. Like that's the first time I've heard that opinion, but I can see where like why you would think that way. But no, I like interesting.
Yeah. It's like I feel that Oda is intentionally keeping him on the back burner because he's so strong,
Right.
you know? And it's like, because of everything that's going on, it's like, Marco, you could be helping this person fight, but he's
been
just,
doing,
you know.
like, I mean, like the fact that he was fighting 2 commanders at once, I feel like is already pretty
That was impressive. That was
yeah.
impressive. That was, and I was like, that was a well-needed W for him because there's just been so many L's on his side.
Right.
So, you know, I'm happy for him in that, at least in that scenario.
Do you
Go ahead.
do you feel like the fact that he's been, because for example, Izo was also there, right, from the Whitebeard Pirates, but
Yes.
like she barely played any role at all, I felt, in general. Like, was with the Scabbards obviously and like filled her role there, but like Marco, I don't know, also the way he's been interacting with all the Straw Hats, like I personally, obviously, I think the chances that he's actually gonna like keep traveling with the Straw Hats are relatively low. But like it was something I never thought about before, but now I almost feel like I don't think he's gonna join the crew necessarily, but it almost feels like if he survives this, he might stick around for a little while. The kind of vibe I get.
Ooh. Would Marco go to Eldath? Because that's where you speculate things are going next. Because it's possible.
It's just the fact that he's been interacting with everyone in the crew and kind of like building like mini relationships throughout Onigashima.
Oh, I like that idea a lot, actually, because then he would see Shanks again, because we presume Luffy sees Shanks in Eldath.
Exactly.
And then Shanks like, hey, Marco, did you decide you were going to join my crew now?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. So I don't like, I wouldn't go as far as saying like he's going to join the Straw Hats, but I could see him like being there for an arc or something.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, which would
but
be
I would
fun.
like that, actually.
Yeah.
I would like that.
No, he's just
I
a
think
fun guy to
Eldath
have
is just going
around.
to be
And like
lore.
him and Shanks, good vibes.
Yes, great vibes. That'd be great. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Absolutely.
Kaido and his ideals about war and dreams. I think it's just like it's building his character as one of the best villains, if not the best villain or antagonist in One Piece. It is like, of course, it's out of frustration, but he's right. Like here's this guy asking to spare his wife and child. And he's like, wait, hold on. You chose this.
I'm, by the way, going to make a prediction at this point, because I feel like the fact that we've been teased the Kaido flashback, but haven't gotten it yet.
It's coming, bro. Yeah. It's coming,
and
bro.
It's going to be like, I'm pretty sure if I had to like predict or bet how the story's going to like turn out the next few chapters, I would say we get like a good reveal about like something, an additional reveal about Luffy, like Luffy appearing in front of Kaido, and we get like something, this and that, comment on it. And then before the fight actually continues, I would bet that we get like a couple of chapters Kaido flashback. Because I feel like it would have to happen before the story, like before the fight's over, I do feel.
Before the fight's over, yeah.
It would be kind of like Kaido realizing what Luffy is, like Kaido realizing he's Joy Boy, and then we cut back to him, like how he got
and
the dream
how
about
this conclusion.
Yeah, and like how he wanted to become Joy Boy and everything, because I feel like that would be like the trigger for him to remember his past and everything.
I think I agree with you. I expect, honestly, a string of fantastic chapters from here on out. Like, I expect nothing but greatness from here on out.
I mean, it has already been so good.
Oh, man. Like, after like this last panel that we're going to get to in a second. Oh my goodness!
It might
be
shout
to Kaido
though, until we get like actually like seeing that Luffy
actual
form
explanations.
Yeah, and also see like action from that Luffy form. I mean, I might be wrong, but like I feel like it might be something like Luffy does something like grand entrance, or like if it's not Luffy, like Joy Boy or whatever. Right? We can talk about that as well, of course. But like you know, Luffy's body making a great entrance and Kaido kind of realizing what's going on, and then like it might take a while till we actually get to like see the fight continue. Possibly.
Yeah. No, you're right. Because at this point, we can jump to Yamato and Momonosuke, where some people were still mad at Momonosuke for how he was acting. And it's just like, hold on a second. He's still 8 years old.
Kid, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's still a kid mentally. And all he's trying to do is save lives at this point. Yamato, though.
Perfect. So she reminds me, did you watch My Dress Up Darling or like read it?
No, I've never seen that.
Okay. Well, like, okay. I can recommend you check it out. It's kind of, she kind of gives off those vibes, like very tough, like kind of like tough, sexy vibes.
No, 100%. It's, I think it was to her character's detriment, her coming out saying that she wants to be Odin. And I think a lot of people wanted to find out more about her. You know, it was like, okay, I understand you want to be Odin, but Yamato, who are you?
Yeah.
And in the chapters where she's fighting Kaido, we found out more about her and her flashback, things she cared about.
Yeah.
And in this moment, it shows just how much Momonosuke needs her.
No, it's
right, and how valuable she is to Momonosuke. Yeah. Where everything she was saying is perfect.
No, it hits home. You know? It hits home really hard. Like I don't know. There's like so many aspects to this that I find great. Like for example, that panel, you know, where it's just like this triple panel of her face determined.
Yes.
Like under the Onigashima one, like that's just like beautiful. Like it's just because Oda barely draws like these really beautiful female characters. And I know some people say she just looks like Nami. I do feel like she's very unique in her entire design. And I feel like that's just like a genuinely beautiful like character design and shot there.
Right.
And then the other thing is I'm so impressed. Like it just feels like Yamato has been around as long as Momo character. Well, like she has it like we haven't known her before the raid, and she just feels like she's been there forever, kind of.
She's made her presence known.
Yeah, we know, like, she feels familiar.
She's established as a character now. Yeah. And I just can't see the crew leaving without her, man.
No,
like,
please.
Like,
I mean, if she doesn't join now, like, that would, I would be so heartbroken.
You know what I mean?
I would be so heartbroken.
I think, bro, I'm 100% convinced her and Momonosuke go with the Straw Hats.
Oh, she has such good vibes.
They both go. You know, it's just great vibes with Yamato. She's already very popular. And, you know, I like her.
No.
I really like her.
Absolutely.
You know? It's like, she's great. She's absolutely great. But now let's get to the end of the chapter. We hear Zunisha, right? Momonosuke, I can hear it. Well, after we see a shot of Luffy, black eyes, with Momonosuke, I can hear it. It really takes me back. Momonosuke's like, wait, what do you mean, Zunisha? I hear the drums of liberation. This is the first time in 800 years he is there without a doubt. Wait, who is? Joy Boy. He has returned. And we see the panel of Luffy with a smile and whatever the hell is going on with him, right? It looks like he's melting or oily, flubbery. What is going on right now? What is happening?
So first of all, I do want to say that, like, that on the second to last page, there's this panel where we get the close up, like Luffy lying there, and then there's close up. I'm pretty sure the official will probably have it, but like it has the sound effect of like a beating heart, which I think to me, reading the Japanese definitely indicated that no, like this is Luffy's body at least. Whether it's Luffy or not is another question, but like Luffy's body coming back to life, or like Luffy's heart starting to beat again. And like I'm curious to like to hear what you think, but like me personally, I personally got the vibe that without any doubt, like, or not without any doubt, but like it was very heavily implied, I felt this chapter, that Luffy died and then came back to life.
Yes, that's the vibe I got as well. It to me, it felt like, okay, Luffy died, he was dead. And at this point, whatever's going on with him, his devil fruit, it brought him back to life.
Yeah.
Right. I will say that in life, your heart can stop. Right. And technically you're dead for a while.
Yeah.
But then you can come back.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess technically Luffy was dead, but then it raises so many questions. And that last panel raises so many questions.
I'm not sure if that's actually Luffy, honestly. And like, I know some people don't like the idea of Luffy being possessed. I think it's really exciting.
Okay. I do not like the idea of him being possessed.
I can see that. But I think it's kind of like the implication.
We love Luffy.
Yeah. I mean, the implication is he's dead. His heart starts beating, and the next panel is Zunisha being like, what the fuck? It's Joy Boy.
Joy Boy has returned. Okay. What is your theory on this? Like, how did you, when you read this, right? What was your first thought?
I don't know, man. I had so many thoughts. I really thought so. So one of my favorite ideas is still like, I'm a big subscriber of the theory that devil fruits can inherit wills, and like awakening a fruit kind of like gives you access to like the will of a previous user. So for example, how like Big Mom became a lot like Mother Caramel, or, you know, like all these things, or like how, like, you know, basically eating a devil fruit changes your personality sometimes, especially when you awaken it. So yeah, I'd like to think that there is like Luffy basically, I'm not sure. I don't know. It's really hard to say, but I don't think like it doesn't feel like Luffy. Like also in like the Nika laugh is not the sound effect Luffy usually makes when he laughs, like the CCC kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I think it's I'm personally I don't have a problem with it because I've actually made a video on this that I personally feel that's gonna come out on Wednesday. Actually, now that I think about it, I haven't published it yet. Where I kind of lay out
Look out for that.
Yeah, it has kind of been foreshadowed throughout the story, like, you know, Luffy and Joy Boy and inherited will, and so I think it will be really interesting to see what direction Oda takes it in, but clearly whether Luffy is possessed or it is Luffy, but he just has like unlocked something about Joy Boy, or like there's some sort of like some part of Joy Boy's personality at work, I feel. And depending on how you sell it to me, I personally, like, if it was just Joy, like Luffy being possessed, quote unquote, and like him just like going for like having like evil Luffy, quote unquote, you know, who's just like berserking his way through the ranks or something. I don't know. That would be like Hakuba style with Cavendish.
Is it like, Hakuba? Yeah. Hakuba would be an interesting one.
I don't know.
Basically, would this be a mode that he would unlock at will or when he's at his wit's end?
Yeah. So my idea is that this is the form, or like Luffy is right now unlocking what he will need to take down Blackbeard, I think, at the end, and like change the world. I think this is the first glimpse at like the power that Luffy needs to actually, you know, take down the like Emus and Blackbeards and Akainus of the world. But I do think it's just gonna be like, it's gonna be one of those power-ups where it's like a first glance, but like kind of like Luffy's Conqueror's Haki at Marineford, you know, where it's like we see this power unlocked and used for the first time. People recognize it, but Luffy really doesn't realize what's happening, doesn't do it actively, and has to learn to control it really. And then like maybe meeting Shanks on Elbaf might be the key to him explaining what the fruit is all about and what he knows and everything. And then like learning the truth about it and how he has to use it is like something I could see happening. So this is like kind of like this impulsive classic. I mean, One Piece is still a shonen, so it could be really this classic like unlocking your true power kind of thing.
So just off of that, we have so much to go off of, right? Because you're saying that Luffy could be possessed. I think when I read it, my inclination was that, okay, Zunisha is mistakenly thinking it's Joy Boy because Luffy has finally awakened a fruit that Joy Boy also had.
Right, yeah.
And this fruit has not been awakened for 800 years. Yeah. That's why, you know, and I go back, that's, you know, assuming that the Gorosei Luffy's fruit is what they were talking about.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like that's without question, you know, now at this point.
It should be a foregone conclusion, but you know, Oda is sometimes, it's just like, it could be something he's trying to, some misdirection, but it's heavily implied that Luffy's fruit is the one they were talking about, right? Yeah. That's been lost to the annals of history, that they changed the name of it to kind of prevent people going after this fruit or whatever it was able to accomplish back then. They were hiding it, right? And when you go back and read that panel about, let's say, the world government, it's like, it seems like they're talking about the previous world government before they took over. They basically was like, they forged information because, hey, we can't have, this power can't disappear from the world, right? But what we can do is, we know it, the basic ability is rubber. Hey, this is the Gomu Gomu no Mi in the Devil Fruit book. And that could be the main reason why that book was created, right? Where it's just like, it's just there to throw people off so they don't know what the fruit that is necessary that's going to bring about change is. Because if they knew it was the Gomu Gomu no Mi, then they would hold that fruit and keep it away from whomever Joy Boy is supposed to be. So I think what Zunisha is seeing or feeling is this awakened user, because the last time this fruit was awakened was 800 years ago. Now, how does somebody awakening their fruit, how does it get to the point that their former partner, they feel their presence within this person? What type of fruit is this? You know,
I think that's
why do we hear drums?
That's a really interesting. I like that point of view also a lot. Like the way I took it more was kind of like it, that the reverse is happening of what the chapter starts with. Like the chapter starts with everyone who knows Luffy, like Law, Momo, and so on and so forth. Kaido, who fought him, all of them feel Luffy's spirit vanishing.
It leaves.
And then in my opinion, like, or the way I took it was that Zunisha has the opposite, where like suddenly the spirit of a person he has known or she has known suddenly reappears, and he's like, whoa.
It's going to be interesting, right? Because we don't know, we didn't get to see the perspective of Law and Kid and Momo, right? Where it's like, do they hear his voice again? You know what I mean?
I think Momo doesn't. Pretty sure.
Because, you know, you're right. Because Momonosuke was like, what do you mean? Momonosuke did say, what do you mean?
Like, he's not like, he's not like, what's this presence? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Kind of.
True. Momonosuke did early in the chapter. Did Momonosuke say that Luffy's voice is gone as well? So Momonosuke has not said that Luffy's voice is back. So that is interesting. That Momonosuke at this point, Luffy is back. Momonosuke still doesn't hear his voice. Yeah. Where
Zunisha clearly has his presence. Someone like feels who she or he believes is Joy Boy returned.
This could be a completely different situation where Luffy is back, but his presence has completely been altered, right? So they don't even know it's him.
Maybe because he has awakened. Yeah, it's I don't know.
Because he's
awakened.
So
hard to speculate. It's really interesting.
It's a lot,
and it's
but then
it's so fun because it's not only the Joy Boy thing. Like, is it another person? Is it just Luffy? Is it a mix between these things? Is it just Joy Boy kind of? And then there's also the part of like the devil fruit aspect of it also.
The devil fruit.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful, right? Because at this point, Luffy's awakening is twofold.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Like in this instance, we assume he's awakening his devil fruit, but then it's also awakening Joy Boy.
Yeah.
So it's like, Oda is such a troll, right? Because we knew that like after Long Kid got the awakenings, we're like, okay, come on. Like once they get their awakenings, we know Luffy's going to awaken. And he's like, yeah, Luffy's going to awaken, but Joy Boy is going to awaken as well. And I'm going to give you this panel with Luffy seemingly transforming into goo or melting or whatever. Then I'm going to go on break for a week.
It's a great point for a break.
It is the perfect cliffhanger because now we have 2 weeks to speculate and to try to figure out what the heck is going on. So if you had to pick right now, as far as like what Luffy's devil fruit is, the name, do you think it is still a paramecia? Do you think it's Zoan? I doubt it's a Logia. What do you think?
I don't think it's a paramecia. I personally tend towards a zone just because I would enjoy this. But I did a video on the entire Sun Wukong thing.
Yes.
And a really interesting parallel is that Wano is heavily inspired by the Momotaro story, right? I feel like everyone probably knows at this point. And so what is interesting is like all the characters connected to that are mythical zones. So you have Momo, who is a mythical dragon, who's the the Momotaro person. Then you have like the dog, which is Yamato, which is a mythical zone.
Mythical zone.
You have Kaido mythical zone, which is like the Oni.
Mythical zone.
You do have the pheasant, which is Marco, which is the mythical zone.
Mythical zone.
And so you just have the monkey left, which in that logic should be like a mythical zone as well. So I do like the Sun Wukong or like Hanuman.
Hanuman, I talked about the Hanuman thing, about him possibly because of the connection with Ganesha, and all the different stuff. It kind of touched on how Ganesha and Hanuman had a real connection, and so that it could really sense the presence. So this chapter was like, oh shit, if Luffy's a mythical Zoan, how does it change anything in the story for you? Do you go back and look at some of the chapters and like, oh my god, this entire time he was a mythical Zoan?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that impact?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like if it's not the Gomu Gomu no Mi, it absolutely changes at least the perspective on the entire story. I feel like in a great way. In a really fun, awesome way. Yeah, and
oh my god, that would turn everything on its head, bro. Because imagine, we're like the entire time, Luffy's a Gomu Gomu no Mi, he's just rubber. He can do all these different things. Wait, he's a mythical.
Yeah, and
Zoan.
Isn't it I feel like that would be an absolute it would be brilliant because to me, I think I mentioned that in the video I made on the chapter. To me, it would even highlight even more how special Luffy is that he managed to get to this point and be so creative with just losing a minimum part of the fruit's ability he actually has.
It'd be sick though, where remember Blackbeard for the most part, which is interesting though. Another part of this O'Hara is that Blackbeard, he's devil fruit hunting.
Oh, absolutely. And Blackbeard, I mean, the Yami Yomi no Mi is also one of these fruits that were in the book, but clearly Blackbeard knew more about its true powers. And there's definitely more to the Yami Yami no Mi we haven't seen yet. That's right. So these fruits seem to be kind of similar to each other, where both of them are
it's almost fruits are tied to destiny.
Yeah, both of them they look very similar also, interestingly enough. So
right. Where we were talking about what if Think Theory in the stream I was doing, they were saying, well, what if Blackbeard was wrong and the fruit that he really wanted was Luffy's fruit? You know,
but then again, you have like
the only
darkness and like the sun god, and you have like this entire thing with
Yes.
Ace, which is stronger, the sun
Yes.
or darkness kind of.
the sun of the darkness. Yeah. So now they get to test that theory again against the sun god. Something I want to talk to you about before we get out of here is destiny. Really quickly, and inherited will. I know you said you have a video coming out on it. For the most part, but do you think at this point, this preordained message, this preordained character, because there's a prophecy involved, right? With everything going on, we know it's a prophecy involved. Odin knew a bit too much, right? And now with Shanks, with Roger, all these things falling into place, the sovereigns being born, would tend to be born, 15 to grow, all these things culminating, Toki using her power, her coming from the Void Century. It's all for this moment, right?
Right.
Does that affect the story negatively for you?
No. No, I'm not. I'm as hyped about One Piece as I've ever been, I feel. I don't know. I love it.
That's okay. So that's what I'm saying. I've never been more hyped for the story, but I'm seeing a lot more clamor about, okay, this is just like Naruto. This is just like Bleach.
I know, which is like the standard arguments, but I feel like this like has been discussed already a lot. I feel on like various occasions that the problem with Naruto was really that, you know, the story at a certain point, which the author openly, Kishimoto openly admitted at some point, he only had it planned so far, and like at a certain point he just in a positive way, he did a good job, I guess, for the circumstance, started winging it.
Right.
And Bleach had a different problem, in my opinion. My opinion was that that Ichigo himself just was very flat as a character, and at a certain point it was just the length of the story. You know, for example, like Kimetsu no Yaiba with Tanjiro, he's also pretty flat because he doesn't change a lot throughout the story. He's just like this eternally good being that like brings goodness to other people. But like in Demon Slayer, it works because the story is like already done and like it's relatively compact.
Not
and
that
short.
Long.
With Bleach, I kind of like after 300 episodes or something, it just gets a little bit like, it's still, he gets a power up, but he's still the same dude, kind of.
He's the most grounded MC.
I mean, I love like Bleach, don't get me wrong, but like the concepts got very repetitive at a certain point, which I think was like what killed Bleach in the end. There was like nothing with Ichigo I could get behind like he was fighting for his friends, but there was nothing really to like where he developed, or like there was nothing. Again, like I think there's nothing wrong with a flat character. It's just like at a certain point it got repetitive, and that's
you want something to hold your interest a bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
A reason to root for this character.
Well, with One Piece. Sorry, keep going on.
Yeah,
please.
Well, I was gonna say Ichigo for me, he was the most relatable MC because he's like a kid that just wants to go to school, like just do whatever, and it's like I could relate to that, but I could see how that could become like okay, I think
exactly. And I think for One Piece, flat, I don't know. I think. I'm so surprised people act like this comes out of nowhere when it's been literally we've all been wondering what's with the Ancient Kingdom, inherited will. Like this has been talked about since like chapter 100 of One Piece, literally, kind of. So
in a recent video of mine, I went back and I mentioned in the last page of chapter 1, it literally says Luffy's journey of destiny begins. Yeah. Right? Like it literally says that Luffy's great voyage of destiny has begun, right?
And I mean, I'm always like a bit confused because again, if for example, if things aren't properly foreshadowed or like haven't been like hinted at in the story at all, I would agree that that's not good writing. But then like just saying I don't like I think I hear people a lot saying that, I wish Luffy was just this regular dude. But I'm like, well, if he was just a regular dude, he wouldn't be the protagonist of a story because he'd just be a regular dude.
We follow special people. Yeah. That's the reason why we're following. We're dropped into this world following these people because they're special. Exactly, so they're going to be special things about him. Even Deku, even though he didn't have a quirk, he was chosen by All Might. Yeah. And then even for him, when he got his quirk, or All for One, at that point, he got it where it's past the point of singularity. So now he can unlock other quirks. You know what I mean? So it's just like something always going to be special about these main characters. And we cannot complain about the execution of it.
No, I don't know.
It's been great.
I think so as well. And I mean, it doesn't change who Luffy, like, I look at it the other way around. I think Luffy has just always been Joy Boy in a way, right? And not in a way that he's like possessed by Joy Boy or anything, just like he's been like Joy Boy. He's been like,
That's his
yeah.
essence.
And other than like people like Roger or Noland or Kaido who might have become like Joy Boy if they had gone the right way, Luffy was the only or the first one or the only one so far who could actually awaken this fruit again and like actually be that person, which is more how I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because personally, I think Joy Boy is a title, right? And it's something that was assigned. And Oda
Yeah.
uses Joy Boy as a cover because he doesn't want to reveal the name yet,
Yeah,
right? It's like,
course,
okay,
yeah.
Joy Boy. But I think it speaks to personality. And
No,
the
it is a
person,
title.
the first, yeah. So dubbing someone Joy Boy is because of how the person carries himself. This person is, because you smile so much, because even in the face of danger, you smile. And just how wide your smile is, I'm going to call you Joy Boy, right?
No,
that's why I'm going to dub you Joy Boy. And so as we move through the story, Luffy is Joy Boy, but that's literally who he is, to the point that Shanks, right? I'm sure Shanks, he got wind or knowledge of the Gumma Gumma no Mi, went to apprehend it. Now he's just chilling in the East Blue. This random kid eats the fruit, right? And then he says the words that Roger said. He's like, you know what? I'm going to bet my arm that this is the kid that we've been waiting for.
Goes back straight to the Grand Line.
Right? He's like, I'm going to leave you. Because that's the thing, right? If you are that special, right? You're going to make it work. You're going to figure it out. I shouldn't have to do anything for you other than put you on this path. And hey, I'm going to add another level of incentive. Here's my hat. Take care of it for me, right? Just like my captain gave me that hat. Bring it back to me when you become a great pirate. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it has so many layers to it now because even Ben Beckman was like, you know what? That kid is going to be something special, you know? And it's like, with this final panel, it just makes you go back and look at so many different things. Right now, I'm in the middle of my Skypiea reread.
Really,
you know?
Sorry, keep going first, please.
Not saying I was in the middle of my Skypiea reread, so like it's forcing me to just go back and question so much.
Everything. There's like the monkeys on the bell and the whales and everything.
Did you see the cover spread? Chapter 1039, I think.
I did.
Did you see that? What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it might be related for sure. I mean, Oda loves doing that stuff. I mean,
Yeah, right.
I think like even Roger starting the Great Pirate era to like have someone find the One Piece. I feel like people have forgotten at this point, but it was literally to find Joy Boy, right? We know that by now. They're like Roger was starting the new pirate era to find the next Joy Boy. So.
Roger and certain things that they talked about where Rayleigh said they were too early.
Yeah.
You know,
Rayleigh, everyone, they all like Rayleigh, Crocus, they all of course knew who Luffy was. Like, you know, like they all saw
he resonated with them.
No, but they like,
yeah.
I think I read it back also with Crocus because I did a video about like Laboon and everything, right? And the One Piece possibly being inside a giant whale and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so Crocus literally is like, oh, so like, you know, you think he's the boy, he's the man, Roger, like he's like Captain Roger, you think he's the man, everything. And of course he recognizes Luffy with the straw hat, right? Of course, why wouldn't he recognize Luffy? So I feel, and like same for Rayleigh, like they know who he is, like they've heard about him from Shanks and everything. So I feel like all the former.
But the thing is, they had to see him. You had to meet him for themselves.
Yeah, and like
to
make their own judgment and test him in their own ways, right? But I do feel all of the former Roger pirates, including Shanks, have been kind of like tasked with finding the next Joy Boy and guiding him towards, you know, like Rayleigh. Rayleigh's at the entrance of the New World, and then Shanks is at the entrance of the Shanks is in the East Blue, like looking for the right person, probably Ace at that point, if we're honest. And then you have Crocus at the entrance to the Grand Line.
Remember, Roger said, "My son is going to find the One Piece." He felt like his son. He's like, "What? You don't have a kid yet." You know, it does show you how special Luffy is to the point that Ace was in the story and Shanks met Ace, and you know, Ace's mindset was not like Luffy's. You know, Ace didn't want to be free, or Ace just wanted to like wreck the system,
but I
you know, and make a name for himself.
He went to Dawn Island to find Ace, I would bet. Originally, I think Shanks heard that Roger's son was there, and he was like, "I'm gonna look for Roger's son in the East Blue, where like he's from and everything." and
then he stumbled upon Luffy.
And like Luffy accidentally ate the fruit that was meant for sharks.
Yeah, and all this just seems so like, as much as it's destiny, a lot of it feels like happenstance. Like things just fell into place, you know?
Like,
and
it's still Luffy's will and like his resilience and everything, right?
Even still the Roger Pirates will, right? Because they don't, like, Rayleigh, he could have been like, kid, you're cool. But then he's like,
not the right dude.
No, yeah. But he's like, you know what? What if we go somewhere for 2 years? You know,
make you
just
a little
go for 2 years. You know, polish around the edges a little bit, you know? And so to see where we've come, man, to like Luffy awakening his fruit, possibly Joy Boy being here. One Piece is in an amazing place right now. I can't wait for the next chapter. Give me your closing thoughts, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, man. I'm just excited to see what's gonna happen next. It's really hard. Like, we've all made our theories and predictions, but in the end, I'm just curious to see what's gonna happen.
Can't wait.
I just really hope we get like a little bit, at least a glimpse at Luffy in the next chapter, because I'm kind of a bit scared that it's gonna be about something completely else.
We're gonna be Oda's gonna go away and have us Kaido fighting Yamato moment the entire
or even worse. I mean, not worse necessarily, but like, you know, what's happening around the world right now, kind of.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, no, there's worse things, but like, you know, like cut away from the entire thing completely.
the only thing that would like be a downer is if we go and you spend the entire chapter on like Orochi and Hiro.
Oh my god, yeah.
And what's going on over there, you know, or like we finally go to where Denjiro is, like wherever the hell he is, right? But nah, fantastic chapter. Thank you for joining me, O'Hara. This was great, man. This is great, guys. 500,000 subscribers for O'Hara, major milestone. You can follow him. Links will be in the description down below. Follow him, subscribe, all that different stuff. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Make sure to like the video if you did.
Please do, yeah.
Subscribe to the channel. Turn on post notifications, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.